In this beginner-friendly watercolor video, I'll share how to create personalized artwork with this beautiful floral letter. Welcome back, friends. My name is Shayda Campbell, and today we're going to create this beautiful floral letter in watercolor, working on some watercolor paper here. This is Arches cold pressed on a block, 140 pound. I'll link that in the description, of course. And then I have my Munoz set. It's a 48 pan set, and you can use whatever watercolors you happen to have or love to use. I've got 2 glasses of clean water, paper towel for blotting, and then I have a couple of pointed round brushes. I believe this is like a number 3 and a number 4. They've got a large belly that holds lots of paint and a nice delicate point for detail work. And then I also have a printed letter. So whatever letter you're going to do, print it out in a font that you like. I think I used one of those classic serifs like Baskerville. And you'll also need a pencil, some washi tape, and I think that's about it. So the first thing we're going to do is transfer the letter onto your watercolor paper. And to do that, just flip it over and begin to color the entire back of the letter with graphite. You just want to put the pencil lead on there. And then you're going to tape it in place where you want it to sit on the watercolor paper, of course. So just try to get it in the middle. You can measure if you like. Then take a mechanical pencil or a nice sharp pencil and just trace around it. And that's going to help you transfer that graphite that's on the back. You might want to go over it if it's a super faint transfer, and that's what you see me doing here. Either way, you've got a clear outline that can be easily erased so it doesn't interfere with your painting. Now we need to plan out our flowers. I like to do this before I paint. So I'm placing 3 circles to indicate 3 flowers, 1 large, 2 medium, putting a few lines that kind of follow the shape of the S, and I'll do some tiny flowers there. And then of course you can tuck a few leaves in if you like. So we already know where we're going to paint. You can also do this on scrap paper. If I just kind of draw the middle of the S there, 1 large flower, 2 smaller ones, then you can decide what kind of flowers are they going to be, maybe a daisy or a rose, so you can sketch that in, some tiny little flowers flowing out of each side, because what I'm going to do on the watercolor paper is actually erase my sketch. But first, let's mix up some paint. I want to keep mine really subtle. So I have 2 bits of white paint here, just white with water on the palette. And then you can see I'm mixing a little bit of brown into that first white puddle. And that gives me a nice creamy beige. And then for the second one, I'm mixing in just a hint of French gray, and it gives me a really, really light gray. So very subtle colors. I'll mix maybe just a little more brown in there, and that way I have different shades to pull from as I'm painting. And then I'm going to mix up a little bit of green. You know I love to mix olive green or even olive brown with a little bit of phthalo, deep phthalo green. That gives me a nice natural green that I love to use. Then here what I'm doing is taking olive green and mixing it with magenta and lots of water, of course. And since red sits across from green on the color wheel, it's its opposite. It will really deaden and muddy up that color, and I like that. It looks very natural. Back to our painting. I've erased my sketches in the middle, so I have a nice clean area to paint. Remember, if you paint over pencil, you won't be able to get rid of those lines. And then I'm using that creamy beige color to start with my largest flower. And I am just painting it 1 petal at a time. It's going to be a super simple flower. You've seen me do this one a ton of times on the channel. If you're new here, I'll link my Watercolor Florals playlist below so you can check that out. But 5 simple petals, and then we're going to take just a tiny bit of that dark brown on the tip of our brush and do a bit of dotting. Such a simple flower. Same thing here, but I'm starting with the center. I'm just doing a bit of dotting for the stamen. And I've used a yellow ochre. And then I'll do the petals around it because this flower is going to be a daisy. And I also have a video on the channel about how to paint daisies. But a quick review here is that with the daisy, you really need to leave a lot of blank page or negative space kind of showing through. You don't want a gray daisy, you want a white daisy. So you're just kind of painting shadow and texture. You know, do a little brush stroke to indicate the shadowy side of the petal, and then just lightly paint the outer edge of that petal. So lots of blank page. From there, we're going to grab a bit of blue on the brush, and I'm going to make these flowers that are so fun to paint. They're just basically splotches of color, and you can see I've laid a couple down in a group here on my page. Then I'll grab a little bit of green paint just on the tip of my paintbrush again, and while the blue is still wet, we're going to join them all with these delicate little stems, and I love the way the blue and green will bleed and blend together ever so slightly. I'm also filling out this area of the floral arrangement by adding some leaves of different sizes. And then I decided maybe I need a few more of those little blue splotches that I'm calling flowers. So you can always add more to your grouping, do a few more stems. And then I'm going to echo that flower on the other side of my arrangement. I've added just a bit of purple to it, so I'm getting a kind of periwinkle blue. And same thing, I do a bunch of purpley blue splotches, then I join them with delicate green stems while the paint is still wet. Then I'll do a few more blue splotches and again join them with stems and add the leaves. Working in that way will ensure that you get that nice blending of the two colors. Next up, I'm going to add that final large flower in the center, and I'm doing a rose. I'm using a yellow ochre, so a dark yellow with lots of white mixed in to give me this buttery color. And I'll link a video about how I paint roses, but this is basically just a broken spiral. It's darker at the center, lighter as I move outward, and you can add a bit of darker yellow there to the middle to give it that opening bud rose look. Then I'm also using the green that has a lot of magenta mixed in, so that dead green, and I'm painting a few leaves here. I really like that kind of browny green. And then I'm using a very dark minty green. This is deep phthalo green with a bit of purple mixed in to darken it, and we're just adding a few more leaves there. And I'll add a few up here as well. Remember, for the leaves, use the very delicate tip of the brush to paint the stems and branches, and run that belly of the brush across the page to do the actual leaf. This is looking good. At this point, if things are at all washed out, it's a great idea to add a bit of darker color. So a bit of a darker green on some of the leaves, maybe a darker periwinkle just dotted onto some of these blue flowers. Just makes everything pop, adds a bit more dimension to the whole floral. I'll even mix a little more brown into my beige, and then I'm adding just a tiny little bit of darker beige to that light flower. Same thing with the daisy. I've just darkened my light gray ever so slightly, and I'm doing some little lines near the center, near the stamen, to show that the flower is slightly concave, and just adding some lines to show the texture of those petals. And it really makes that white flower jump off the white page. You can also add a little bit of darker color to the center of each flower, whether it's the rose or the daisy. They both can benefit from a little bit more contrast. Fill in the sort of nooks and crannies wherever you need to with a bit of dark green. And yeah, that's sort of the finishing touches on our floral, and I think it looks so pretty. With our florals done, we're moving on to our next step. So what I've done here is grabbed clean water, and I want to use Payne's Gray, and I'm going to need a lot of it mixed up, so it's nice to use a tube paint anytime that you need a lot of one color. It just allows you to mix a lot really easily. I mixed a bit of water in. The Payne's Gray is a very steely gray, so what I like to do is mix in just a hint of magenta, but lots of that Payne's Gray and water. You don't want it getting too purpley, and that just gives me this really beautiful warm gray. So I've got tons of it mixed up up on my palette here. And then I am going to begin to paint the S. Now, of course, you could use any color. You don't have to use Payne's gray. Of course, you know me, love a good warm gray. What else is new around here? Shayda's doing gray. But you've got your pencil outline. The pointed round brush is the exact right tool for this project because you can use the large belly to hold lots of paint and put down large swashes of color where you're confident in doing so. And then you're going to use the delicate tip of that brush, to go around those edges and get nice straight lines on the outside of that letter. But just don't overthink it too much. I've gone in quite light and then have added a bit of darker gray into the wet area. I'm keeping the gray very light as I approach the little flowers here. So that just makes it really easy to not have like harsh lines between the gray and the flowers. Just keep it very light. And again, you can always add a bit of darker paint into the wet area after and just let it seep out naturally. So that kind of takes the pressure off you. Just go really light, add the darker pigment later. I'll continue on with the top of the S here, just carefully doing it. If you need to flip that page, go ahead. No shame in that. Do what makes it easiest for you. And that's pretty much it. Our beautiful floral letter is complete. This would make such a great gift for a friend who's expecting personalized artwork. Is there anything better? Thank you so much for watching. If you try this yourself, please post it on social media and tag me using hashtag #ShaydaMadeMeDrawIt. Head over to the blog for all of our supply links, and I will see you soon with a new tutorial. Don't forget to subscribe.